Greetings, family. This is Dr. Kia Pruitt. It is Friday, or shall I say Friday, October the 14th, 2022, and the time is 3:45 p.m. I am getting ready. I don't have a lot of time, but I did want to answer this question that was asked to me yesterday and today, and that is why silver and gold? Why should I invest in silver and gold? What is the value? Now, I know we've been over this before, but it's good to reiterate certain things, right? So, silver and gold are considered God's money because it's real. It's something that has been here since the beginning of time. It's what the Creator created. And it's something that we have historically used for money or for a means of exchange for centuries. Even in biblical times, we used silver and gold. Remember, because who was it? It was Judas that actually betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver, I think it was. But we know that they used silver during that time period. But they also used gold throughout history. So, unlike today, when you have people using paper dollars, which is not backed by anything, historically humans have used precious metals to store value or store their wealth and as a means of exchange. Now, you did have times when they used other means. They may have used pebbles or stones, or they may have bartered in order to buy things or to secure certain materials or resources for themselves. But we've also had silver and gold used throughout eons or centuries throughout our time here on earth. Now, I know that the United States government is saying that the dollar is strong and that you don't have to worry, that the stock market is not going to crash, that we're okay. Here's the thing. I want you to consider who's saying that. We're talking about this so-called elite class, the people in power and central banks that are saying that we're going to be okay, that the dollar is strong, the dollar is maintaining its value, we're doing well economically. You know, some things like inflation is just transient, but it's going to change. It's going to correct real soon, if not right now. These, my darlings, are the same people who have enslaved humanity and who have kept and stolen our wealth. Okay, so we can't trust them. How is it that the dollar is strong when country after country have left the USD? Now, we've talked about it before, but it's okay to restate or reiterate how Russia left the USD. Now, I told you this earlier this year and most recently, but I also iterated that in 2018. The same article that's being used now that says that Russia left the USD and returned to gold is the same article that was used in 2018. So in which timeline are we living? And did this already occur a long time ago and now we're just finding out? We're just now catching on? Because usually by the time you hear something, it has already happened. So let me speed this up. So when Russia left the USD, that led them or encouraged them or helped them or inspired them to promote the entire union of the BRICS union of BRICS nations to leave the USD. The BRICS nations including Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And when they left the USD, then they returned to gold. And Saudi Arabia jumped on the train and said, we're leaving the USD. Now, we all know that we were taken off the gold standard around the 70s. But what many of you don't remember, and we thank goodness for Andy Schectman, the CEO of Miles Franklin, bringing this to our remembrance, is that what actually made the United States dollar or the USD fiat the reserved currency of the world, or the world reserve currency, is that we had an agreement with Saudi Arabia. And that agreement was, you give us the oil and we'll protect you, and then we will force all other nations to trade with the USD. That, my darlings, is what made the USD the world reserve currency. So when Saudi Arabia left the USD, that was a big slap in the face, a backhand, if you will. It was a big statement that made the USD no longer the reserve currency. Because again, what made it the reserve currency was our agreement with Saudi Arabia. So Russia left, the BRICS nations left, Saudi Arabia, and it just made a whole line of countries do the same thing or follow suit. So then in Iran, Indonesia, Malaysia, Turkey, Egypt, and other nations followed, to the extent that all exporting nations left or fled the USD and returned to precious metals. Then on top of that, what we saw is countries all over the world encouraging their empires and their family offices to do the same. And on top of that, what we saw happen was banks leaving the USD, or amassing gold, I should say, to themselves, and having gold repatriated back to them, and countries having gold repatriated back to them. So all of this on top of massive printing, which we call quantitative easing, that has happened since 2020, has caused the USD to lose value. Keep in mind that when people wake up, they rush to precious metals because precious metals store their value. It helps you maintain the value of your money. So you could take fake money or money backed by nothing, fiat, and buy or invest in precious metals and store wealth or hold your wealth. Okay. Not only that, people are seeing that the money that they had in the banks not gain interest like it used to be. So they're not seeing their money grow at all. And these people are saying, what should I do? So economists and gold enthusiasts and silver enthusiasts are saying, take your money and roll it over into precious metals, because precious metals maintain their value. So with all of this happening, family, people are flocking to gold and silver. So what you see is a high demand. Now, a high demand on top of a compromised supply chain, you're now going to see a slowing down of deliveries of product. So if everybody is rushing to silver and gold, and people haven't even awakened yet, but we see millionaires, billionaires even getting to silver and gold. Now, everyday people getting into silver and gold. And as that supply increases, and remember, plus you put on top of that, the supply chain issue continue to go on, then how are they going to deliver all that silver and gold? So that's why I'm saying, family, get into silver and gold while you can. Now, I believe it was Andy Schectman that said, since April, 530 tons of gold have left the New York and London vaults. 530 tons have left the vaults. He's also said that with the supply chain issue, it's becoming harder and harder for people to get their product. And he hasn't seen anything like this. He said there's been an unprecedented amount of demand that he has seen since 2008. So we need to get on board and look at what other countries are doing and look at what banks are doing. Now, you all do remember that Robert Kiyosaki recently said that you should get into gold and silver. Robert Kiyosaki is the guy who wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. He's a Japanese American gentleman. He's a businessman and a friend of Number 45. He has told us to get into silver and gold. David Morgan, the silver guru, has encouraged us to get into silver and gold. Many people have said this is the time to get into silver and gold. Now, if you listen to Liberty and Finance on YouTube, one of the gentlemen on there, one of the spokespersons or one of the podcasters who also works for Miles Franklin, his name is Dunnigan Kaiser. He said that he's had many calls of people who want to buy, potentially they're calling saying, what if I want to buy $500,000 or $500,000 of gold or silver? Can you get it to me? And people who are saying, I want to get several $1 million worth of silver and gold. Can you get it to me? So people are rushing to silver and gold. And these are people who actually work for precious metals companies that are telling us it's time to get into silver and gold. Remember, the Bible says that A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, and the wealth is stored up for the righteous. The wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children or his posterity, and the wealth is laid up of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. If you consider yourself a good man, a wise woman, a good woman, then you would be proactive, think ahead, and amass wealth or start stacking silver and gold now. Remember also that, what's his name? Alex or Alexander Mooney introduced the gold standard bill just recently, October 6th, 2022. He is a representative of West Virginia. He's a Republican. And when I looked at it, I said, okay, this is House Resolution 9157, but this one sounds familiar. So I looked up House Resolution 5404, which was the same bill introduced in 2018 under number 45. And do you not know it was the same gentleman that introduced this bill earlier this month, introduced House Resolution 5405 to make or define the dollar as a fixed weight in gold. Family, this is the same man, and his name is Alexander Mooney, which, if you really look at his name closely, it's money with an extra O, Mooney. I think everything happens for a reason and nothing is coincidence. So, having said that, also consider that Apmex is a precious metals company that used gold to pay a security deposit in order to lease a building from Donald Trump. And Donald Trump made a statement when that happened, and he said, this is just an indication of what's really going on with the dollar. So I'm going to read what Donald Trump said about that, and then I'm going to go because I need to go. This article says, Trump says gold is better than cash. He puts his money where his mouth is. In a deal that defies currently accepted norms, Donald Trump has rented out his 50th floor of the Trump building at 40 Wall Street to American precious metals exchange company Apmex. He agreed to receive 3 32-ounce gold bars for a security deposit. Now it goes on to talk about that deal, and look at what he says. He says, sadly, we all know what's happening to the dollar. The dollar is going down, and it's not a pretty picture. And it's not being sustained by proper policy and proper thinking. This was an opportunity, and maybe an opportunity to show people what's happening with the dollar so we can do something about it, Donald Trump said. And he added, I never thought this would happen. This is the first time it's actually happened, and maybe it's going to set a trend. So family, this was actually written April 6, 2016, and here we are 6 years later, talking about bills being introduced to define the dollar as a fixed weight in gold. We're talking about how constitutional money is silver and gold, and how the Constitution originally said that or defined the dollar as a fixed weight in silver. And then when you read other articles and sections of the Constitution, it talks about how the U.S. Treasury should mint silver and gold for its citizens or for us sovereign beings. So I just thought I would bring this to your attention. I will give you those articles and put them in a description section. I'm about to leave out of here, but family, you know where to go to get your precious metals. If there isn't any at your local coin shop, then please contact our friend Andy Scheckman, who is the CEO of Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company. He has a A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. He's been in business for 30 years and not had one single complaint. So he is also one of the only precious metals companies and CEOs that is able and certified to sell coins from the U.S. Mint. So you want to get your coins from Andy Scheckman at Miles Franklin. He has wonderful prices. I've searched, I do research. I have searched all over, and I have found that yes, He has the best prices in the market. And if you email him at info@milesfranklin.com or Andy, ANDY, @milesfranklin.com, and tell him that you're interested in his inventory to see what he has, and let him know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you, you will get the best prices in the market. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope I said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to live and create the most magnificent reality for you and your posterity that you desire and deserve. I love you. Peace, family. Bye. Now mama's got to get ready to go do some belly dancing. Yes. And then some salsa and merengue. I'll talk to you later. Bye.